Taylor Alison Swift was born on December 13, 1989, in Reading, Pennsylvania, United States. She grew up in a quiet, ordinary environment that gave no clear sign that one day she would become one of the most powerful and influential musicians in the world. Her father, Scott Swift, worked as a financial advisor, and her mother, Andrea Swift, was a homemaker who later worked in marketing. Taylor also has a younger brother named Austin. From a very young age, Taylor showed an unusual interest in storytelling, emotions, and music. She loved listening to country artists, especially Shania Twain and Faith Hill. She would sing along for hours, imagining herself on stage. At the age of 9, Taylor started performing in local talent shows, fairs, and festivals. She was not perfect, but she was passionate. When she was 12 years old, a computer repairman taught her a few guitar chords. That small moment changed her life forever. Taylor became obsessed with songwriting. She would sit alone in her room, writing lyrics about her feelings, friendships, fears, and dreams. Music became her diary, her escape, and her voice. Taylor's parents noticed her dedication and believed in her talent. They made a bold decision that many parents would be afraid to make. When Taylor was just 14 years old, the family moved to Nashville, Tennessee, the heart of country music. This move was risky, expensive, and uncertain, but it showed how strongly they believed in Taylor's future. In Nashville, Taylor faced rejection after rejection. Record labels told her she was too young, not unique enough, or not ready. But instead of giving up, she worked harder. She signed a songwriting deal with Sony TV, becoming one of the youngest songwriters in their history. This gave her experience, but not fame. Taylor still dreamed of singing her own songs, not just writing for others. Finally, she met Scott Borchetta, who was starting a new label called Big Machine Records. Taylor became the first artist signed to the label. It was a turning point that would change music history in 2006. Taylor Swift released her debut album, Taylor Swift. The album was deeply personal, filled with songs about teenage love, heartbreak, and dreams. What made Taylor different was that she wrote or co-wrote every song herself. Fans felt connected to her honesty. Songs like Tim McGraw and Teardrops on My Guitar became hits, especially among young listeners who felt understood by her lyrics. Taylor didn't become famous overnight. She toured constantly, opening for bigger artists, performing at small venues, meeting fans one by one. She personally replied to fan messages, remembered names, and built a loyal fan base. This connection became one of her greatest strengths. Her second album, Fearless, released in 2008, changed everything. Songs like Love Story and You Belong With Me became global hits. The album won multiple awards, including the Grammy for Album of the Year. Taylor became the youngest artist ever to win that award at the time. She was no longer just a country singer. She was a global star. As her fame grew, so did criticism. People questioned her relationships, her writing style, and her public image. Taylor turned criticism into creativity. Every heartbreak, every rumor, every public moment became fuel for her music. Albums like Speak Now and Red showed her growth as a songwriter and artist. She experimented with pop elements while keeping emotional depth in 2014. Taylor made one of the boldest decisions of her career. She completely transitioned from country to pop with the album 1989. Many people doubted her. Critics said she might fail. Instead, the album became a massive success. Songs like Shake It Off, Blank Space, and Style dominated charts worldwide. Taylor proved she could reinvent herself and succeed again. However, fame came. With pressure, public feuds, media attacks, and online hate affected her mental health. Taylor disappeared from the public eye for a while. When she returned, it was with the album Reputation, a darker, stronger version of herself. The album showed a woman who had been hurt but refused to be broken. Later, Taylor surprised everyone again by releasing softer, emotional albums like Lover, Folklore, and Evermore. These albums showed her maturity, storytelling skills, and artistic freedom. She explored fictional stories, deep emotions, and minimalistic sounds. Critics praised her as one of the greatest songwriters of her generation. One of the most powerful Moments in Taylor Swift's career came when she decided to re-record her old albums after losing the rights to her original masters. This move was not just personal, it was historical. By releasing Taylor's version albums, she took control of her work and inspired artists around the world to fight for their rights. Today, Taylor Swift is not just a singer, she's a songwriter, producer, businesswoman, cultural icon, and voice for artists' rights. She has broken countless records, sold millions of albums, and built one of the strongest fan communities in the world. Her journey proves that success is not about luck, but about persistence, courage, and belief in oneself. Taylor Swift became famous not because she was perfect, but because she was real. She turned her life into music, and her music into a legacy. Her story continues to inspire millions of people who dream big, feel deeply, and refuse to give up.